Peace, family. Welcome back to the Campaign TV Show. I am your host, Brother King Cam. And tonight we have a special show lined up, as always, because the audience here at the Campaign TV Show Podcast is an intelligent group of Black intellectuals or intellectuals that come to have a conversation. And tonight we're going to be speaking with a young brother, Brother Tavion X, who's going to be giving us his experience, his testimony, his life story, really on how the teachings have affected him in a positive way. And I want us to really key in on that specifically because we're dealing with a time where Black youth, more so Black men, need guidance. Black men need guidance. You see a lot of brothers and stuff, falling victim out here in the streets. So guidance is necessary. So that's what tonight's show is going to be about. As always, we lay a foundational base with the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. But Brother Tavion, we're going to be going in. I want to ask everybody to, join in the liking and the sharing and the engaging of this podcast and of this platform, because what it does is it opens it up and allows more people to see and view what we have going on. And as you already know, I always help and assist in that because I'm no different from nobody else. So we get on here, we like and we share, and we make sure that we spread the word on what we got going on. So this is going to be a beautiful, beautiful show tonight, family. So I appreciate you all for tuning in as always. So first, let me go ahead and cue up the minister because he's going to lay the base for this program tonight. He's going to lay the base for the program and really give us a clear understanding of how we can start to change some of the outcomes that a lot of young Black men face on a daily basis. So we're going to go ahead and get the minister queued up. And while we're doing that, again, can you like, share, and get this out to as many people as possible? Any single mothers that you may know that have young sons, any brothers that's dealing with their sons coming into adolescence, coming into those teenage years. It's a very crucial time. So right guidance is very, very important. And I believe that the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, as taught by the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, gives us examples and gives us fruit and gives us pretty much what I like to say. What's the word I'm looking for? But gives us examples and proof that if you apply this, you can actually change the outcome of what you got going on. So let me go ahead and pull up the minister, and then we can go right into it after that. So please hit the comment section. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know who's checking us out and what we got going on, because I think it's good to find out who we got in the house. So let me back out of that. All right, got the minister. All right, cool. So we're about to go ahead and lay the base with the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. You already know how we do it. So, there we go. All right, family. So, all right, check this out. Again, I'm pulling this video off my Instagram page because I couldn't find exactly where the clip was at on YouTube. So, but I have it because I posted it on Instagram. So I want you to check this out and listen to the minister's words on why all men and boys should join the Nation of Islam.
See, if you come this way, Black man, we're going to discipline you. You're a soldier. You need to be disciplined. You don't like that? Why not? Well, who are you to discipline us? We're your brother. And the thing that disciplined us is a word. We didn't force nobody to be disciplined. The word disciplined us. Look at these Muslims. You feel safe when they come in your community. clean-cut young men and women. Sisters, you need discipline. You need to know how to protect yourself and your family, and you need to know how to make a home. You know how to be pretty on the outside. How in the hell can a man feel good about a woman that's so beautiful, just paid $600 for a weave? And then I got a feed from McDonald's. Does that make sense? Somebody has to teach and train us. Just leave us alone with our people. We love our people. We don't carry no guns. We don't need a gun to control a black man. Wisdom, knowledge, discipline. Make him the soldier that he's born to be. Make him a brave fighter, willing at any time to give his life for Allah's sake and righteousness. That's what we are. We got to straighten out our community. See, if you come this way, black man, we're going to discipline you. You're a soldier. You need to be disciplined. You don't like that?
Praise be to Allah.
Praise be
Boy,
to Allah.
the minister know how to go ahead and make it plain.
Definitely.
He always does. The minister makes it plain. He said, come this way, black man, you're going to get disciplined. Come this way, you're going to get disciplined so you can get the proper understanding, so you can get the proper training, so that you can be now a productive citizen, a productive member of your family, of your community, and of your nation. So without any further ado, I want to go ahead and get into it now, because again, as I mentioned earlier, it's a lot of black youth in the street that's really falling victim to, a lot of different things. And Tay, you are, a brother that has quite a bit of experience, coming through different things. So why don't you let the people know, how you first came into, contact with the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Farrakhan.
All praises due to Allah, bro. Again, I'd like to thank you for having me on the show. My first experience with the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad was while I was in prison in Alabama. I've been to prison 3 times. The first time, it really wasn't that much, but the second time, I really had a lot of interaction with the brothers in the Nation of Islam, the 5 percenters and things like that, because they would hold programs in the chapel and different things like that. And I grew up in a neighborhood out of Montgomery, Alabama, off the west side, Westgate, and it was Disciples. So that's what I ran with when I went to prison. But it was one thing that we heard, a couple of partners that I used to run with back then, was one thing that we heard while I was incarcerated that made us really pull our pants up, tuck our shirt in, walk different. When we heard that the black man was God, bro, we never heard that before. And when you really think about the black man is God, it's like, and not even at that point, I wasn't even studying the teachings like that. I just heard the black man was God. So it was like, okay, if the black man is God, then that means I'm like the first God who created everything that we see. So it made us carry ourselves with a certain prestige. You feel what I'm saying? We start looking at ourselves different. But I was so caught up on the disciple nation type thing. So I didn't really, I felt like if I do this, then I'm turning my back on it. You feel what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I didn't really go all the way with it. It was the third time that I was incarcerated. I had 20-year sentence. I think I was like 21 or 22. Um, I had a 20-year sentence, and I ran into a brother. Well, I moved into a program dorm, crime bill, and I moved into the program dorm, and it was a brother in the nation had been down for a while. You know what I mean? Had been, living that life, but he changed his ways, and he was back them teaching. And when he seen me, when I come in the dorm, I put my stuff on the bed, take my shirt off, fix my bed, you know how it go, stuff like that.
Yes,
And
sir.
he pulled up on me with a book, and he was like, if you read this book, I'll give you a bag of coffee. In the penitentiary, in jail, in prison, like coffee, cigarettes, stuff like that, like it go for a lot. You feel what I'm saying? So I told him, I was like, bro, you ain't got to give me nothing to read the book. If I'm gonna read it, I'm gonna read it. If I ain't gonna read it, I ain't gonna read it. You don't got to pay me for to read something.
Mm.
And it just built from there. And I got an orientation, and I went the whole way. But it was just like the minister said, the discipline, the fasting. That was the first time I was introduced to fasting. Um, just the whole principles and everything that the nation offered. It was life changing to me. And I remember one time I was on a visitation yard. It was Ramadan. This was my first Ramadan ever.
Yes, sir.
And my mother, my father, my sister, they came to see me. And my mother never ate the food on the visitation yard. Never. And when my daddy came, he gonna have all the change, he go feed me, we go talk, you know what I'm saying? So when he got out there, he had all the change, and he was like, you ain't go eat, you don't want to get nothing to eat. I was like, no, I'm fast.
Mm.
He was like, you fast? I was like, yeah, it's Ramadan.
Mm.
He was like, Ramadan, what is that? So I explained it to him, man. So my mother kept asking me, you want to get something to eat? She'll go there and get her something to eat. You sure you don't want nothing to eat? I was like, nah, I'm good. You know what I mean? And I think for her, she was just trying to test the waters, because she know me. Like, if I'm with it, I'm with it. It don't matter if it's right or wrong. If I'm with it, I'm all the way in. And so I got past that, and I was at another prison years later, still with the nation, growing, studying, and different things like that. And when I walked on the visitation yard, she looked at me and looked at my sister and said, my son a man now. And at that point, I knew that I got to stick with these teachings. And it was just, it was just the whole format that the God brought to us. And, we have to understand that he studied for a while to save us. You know what I mean? And the things that he put in place are the things that we need to become better men, better women, raise our children the right way. And just the discipline, and because I was the type of person, like, I do whatever. I didn't have a I didn't have a standard. I didn't have principles. I didn't have morals. You feel what I'm saying? So, when I met that, it just changed my whole life.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And man, the beautiful thing is, bro, you talk about how you actually came into the teachings and really came in contact with that while you was in prison. Now, many people already know the stuff that young black men get into when we in the streets. Chasing women, fast money, fast cars, all that type of stuff that lands us in that situation. You talked about gang ties and gang life and things of that nature. So we already understand that. But what was it about the brothers inside of the prison, the mindset of the brothers that really drew you to them to say, okay, maybe this is something that I can get with? Because a lot of people say, yeah, they came into Islam in the prison, so they try to make like Islam like almost like a jailhouse prison
Right.
type,
Nah.
religion.
The
So
thing,
what is
to
it
be
about?
honest,
Mm-hmm.
the thing that attracted me to those brothers were they were just like me. Like they weren't soft, they weren't laid back. I mean, they laid back, but if you play, you go get dealt with. Like they men at the end of the day, and they were brothers that have been what I am, have been through what I've been through. You know what I mean? They in the joint with me, so obviously you did something to get here. So you ain't been this way your whole life. You feel what I'm saying? And that's what attracted me to it. And another thing that attracted me to the nation was because not to bash Christianity or any other religion, like, but what attracted me to it was I can still be a man.
Right.
I don't have to turn the other cheek if somebody disrespect me the wrong way. I don't have to lay down and say Jesus forgive you. Like it's
Right.
pressure. You feel what I'm saying? But I'm striving to be righteous. I'm trying to do right. I want to do right. But if you cross that line, it's pressure. And that's the stamp. Like the men that brought me into the nation that was around, like they was killers, they was robbers, they was drug dealers, they was all of that.
Mm.
You feel what I'm saying? But they represented the truth. And that's like I can be a soldier. Like Minister Farrakhan said, we soldiers. So it's in our nature to be warriors.
Mm.
But you have to be a warrior on the right accord though. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. So would you say that it was the realness or the authenticity of the brother that you came in contact with that drew you in because you didn't feel like you had to, leave a part of yourself or be somebody that you really wasn't? The
Right.
authenticity, is that something that helped you draw you closer to Islam?
Yeah, most definitely. The authenticity, like it made me want to be with it because I can be myself and grow into a better part of me. You know what I
Yes, sir.
mean? So yeah,
Yeah,
that definitely helped me out a lot.
absolutely. So, through your transition, as you, go through and you start to learn more, and then, you come home.
Hmm.
Tell me, what's your mindset when you see other brothers in the condition that you was in before you had got locked up?
Man, it hurts. It hurts when you come into the truth and you actually see your people in that condition. Because by nature they're not that way, and
Mm,
they were made that way. And it hurts because we are taught in the Nation of Islam, when you see a black man, a black woman, you see God. Period. No matter what condition they in, you see God. So to see my people and my brothers that's in the street doing what they doing, because when you come from that environment, sometimes you feel like you don't have no other choice. Like it's
mm.
not that many options. And to know that it was purposely planned for us to be this way, I think that's what hurt the most. That it was purposely planned. It's not just up and happened, or it just was made this way, or we was born into the condition. We were made to be how we are
Mm.
by a wicked government or wicked people. That's what hurt the most. You feel what I'm saying? Because any other way, we'll be up right now. Our people wouldn't have to do what they doing.
Yes, sir.
You feel what I'm saying? God wouldn't have to came himself and gave us the truth. Because it's in us by nature to do right and be righteous.
Right.
But we was put in a condition that made us this way. Now we're at the point to where even though we were made this way, in our families we have what they call generational curses.
Mm-hmm.
We're at the point now where we have to break that because now we have too much technology. It's too much knowledge out there for us to continue to be in that way. And that's another thing that hurt, that you know you can be in this condition so long and don't know you in a condition.
Yes, sir.
You feel like it's normal. You feel what I'm saying? So it's hurt. It hurt, bro, to see
Yeah.
that it's a lot of young brothers out there that have to go through what I went through to come into themselves.
Yes, sir.
It hurt.
Yes, sir.
Definitely
Yes.
hurt.
And when you look at the condition of our people and you look at our men, the way that we
Hmm.
treat our women, the way that we treat one another, as you mentioned, it's disheartening and it hurts to see how we do each other that way. But the beauty of it is there is a way out. The teachers have allowed us to feed our mind with such a truth that now we elevate the level of consciousness that we
Hmm.
can now begin to change our behavior. So
Right.
it is extremely important because it shows in Dr. Wesley's book where he goes in with the understanding the assault on the black man, black manhood, and black masculinity, how the United States government, this white supremacist, slave oppressive enemy of ours, has now turned to mind control through various agents to be able to control your behavior. So if they
Hmm.
can use mind control in a negative way to be able to control and influence your behavior in a negative way so that you could be unproductive, then it
Right.
seems to me that the answer to that would be the exact opposite. So instead
Right.
of feeding your mind filth, you feed your mind truth. Instead of
Right.
feeding your mind lies, you feed your mind the real, which will
Right.
help to elevate your consciousness so that you know exactly who you are.
Right.
So, as a young brother and being a father, how important is it for you that these teachings reach the generation that's coming after us? Because you have the young brothers that's watching their fathers, watching their uncles, watching their cousins or their older brothers, and are going to emulate the same behavior. So how
Right.
is important that we get in front of this with positive black role models?
It's very important because having a son of my own, I'm able to, with the teachings that the Most High Elijah Muhammad has given to us by the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, I'm able to teach him the true history and the knowledge of himself. I'm able to teach him that instead of calling yourself a nigga, you can say the black man is God. I'm able to give him the discipline and the understanding that he needs to survive in a world that is against you. So that's very important to try to guide the youth away from the norm or away or give them something that they can feed on more powerful than the negativity that's around them daily. And I teach my son like you're black man strong, the black man is God. You feel what I'm saying? And I didn't have that growing up, you know,
So,
to hit the black man is God, or you a black man, you strong, you handsome, you smart, you intelligent. I feed positive things to him so when he grows up, he already know who he is. He has the knowledge of self, God and the devil. And he's able to maneuver in a world that is, not made to fit his criteria.
right. And that's a beautiful point because on my Instagram, I made a post the other day about how you often hear a lot of grown men
Hmm.
who like to say things like, all the real leaders are dead. Or, I can't get ahead in this world because of the white man and his system, or the white
Right,
man this or the white man that. And I
right,
said, no. See, the problem is, one, you think that the white man is God. The white man
right,
not God, first and
right,
foremost. He's
right,
a God, but he's not the God.
right,
Okay?
right,
Secondly, the problem that you're running into is that you lack the wisdom, huh, that will allow him not even to be a problem for you.
right,
This is why he's an obstacle before you because you lack the wisdom to be able to outthink him.
right.
So,
And
yeah,
I don't mean to cut you out, but I was talking to one of my partners and I was like, bro, we not go beat him by being like him. There's not enough crime we can commit. There's not enough laws we can break. You feel what I'm saying? To make us beat him in his own game. This is a system that he created. We're not gonna beat him in that. The best thing we can do is legitimize ourselves and put ourselves in position to where, like you said, we can be upright citizens, even though we're not citizens, but we can act accordingly.
right.
And one thing about the nation, it tell you to follow the rules of the land, follow
Mm.
the law. If it doesn't conflict with your religion, you got to abide by it. You feel what I'm saying? So if you gotta have a license to drive, have you some license. If you gotta put your seatbelt on, not to get pulled over, put your seatbelt on. You feel what I'm saying? And try to carry yourself in a way to where you limit the access to them dealing with you.
Mm.
You feel what I'm saying? And putting you in a position you don't want to be in. So but the more right we do, the less we have to worry about them putting us in a position or them killing us or whatever. Now, we do have instances where they kill innocent people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's just their nature. They're not for us. You know what I'm saying? So for me, the law of the Nation of Islam and the discipline again keeps me grounded to where I can play chess with them. I can maneuver through whatever crap they got for me because really I'm not involved. I should not be involved in all of that.
Wow. And that
So
that was
so
powerful. Yeah.
and it's a scripture in the Bible that says, "Come out of her, my people. You know, be ye of the world, but you're not of the world. Be ye in the world, but not of the world." Meaning you live every day in society, but you don't partake in worldly activities. You don't partake in what the world has going on. That's what keep you. It gives you a safe net. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So if you ain't selling drugs, you ain't got to worry about the trap getting busted. You feel what I'm saying? If
Mm-hmm.
you a felon and ain't supposed to have a gun and you ain't riding with it, you ain't got to worry about getting pulled over, getting caught with the gun.
Mm.
You know, if you ain't out in the streets acting wild, you ain't got to worry about different. You know, it's just your way of life. If you live the type of life the world allows you to function in society, be in society, make your money, raise your family, but not really a part of society, you pretty much have a safety net around you. And we have to, get out of this world, man. We have to stop partaking in the activities of this world.
Wow. Like I said, that was real profound because a lot of black men don't really understand that. A lot of the teenagers don't really understand that. See, the reason why you get caught up is because you in the process of doing things that's going to lead you down the path that is intended for you to end up in jail,
Exactly.
intended
Right.
for you to end up in the grave. You understand what
Right.
I'm saying? Now,
Mm-hmm.
most of those things are dealing with um, because of out of necessity, right? So we are doing X amount of things because we feel out of necessity. This is how we can feed our family. This is how
Right.
we can take care of ourselves. But again, it's a lack of wisdom because the lack of wisdom is that we feel that the negative, is the only way that we can actually be productive when that's not true. The same way that we push the pack, the same way that we move in pounds, we can do pounds of t-shirts. We can
Right.
do pounds
Right.
of
Right. Right.
pillows. We can do
Right.
pounds of sneakers. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Right.
now we're using the same concept that was negative, but now we bringing it to the positive. So I would ask you this because many people say, okay, well, you know, I like the militancy. You understand? I
Mm-hmm.
like what the brothers in the nation represent. But people can say, well, it's a lot of men out here that's giving you giving you these same foundational principles. But what was it
Mm-hmm.
about Minister Farrakhan that drew
Mm-hmm.
you into where you would say you're gonna become a part of the ranks? You're gonna join the Nation of Islam. What was it about Minister Farrakhan that led to you making that decision?
Before I answer that, I want to touch on some on what we was on previous. The minister did a lecture on what is your role, man and woman, right?
Yep.
And I think you sent me the whole clip, the whole video. And in that lecture, a man's job is to maintain, protect, and provide for his wife, his family. The minister said a criminal cannot be a maintainer, protector, and a provider. Because if you're a criminal, you in a lifestyle to where you don't know what's gonna happen.
Right.
So you can't maintain her. You can't provide because you can be gone any minute, dead or in jail. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
When it comes to what made me, yes, a lot of people out here doing whatever they doing conscious and it's all needed. But and one thing about the nation, people don't understand is that we are taught to study the Bible, the Holy Quran, our history. So when I studied the Bible and start seeing that, when God chooses a person to be his representative in his absence, then he gives this person a certain knowledge that you never heard before. He gives this person a lifestyle that you never, and he backs this person 100%.
Come on.
So when I looked at Minister Farrakhan and once I started seeing his strength, because he not a coward.
Right.
And I remember one lecture that really, really, really made me say, I got to follow him. He was speaking. I can't remember the lecture, but I know he was speaking, and his wife was on the stage, his children was on the stage, and it probably was a Savior Day or something.
Savior Day, yeah, sound like a Savior.
And he said, you can kill all of them. And he pointed at his wife, his family, his children. He said, you can kill all of them. It's not gonna make me stop giving you this truth. He said, because at that point, it's day test. At that point, he said, you can do whatever. You can kill all of them. And for a man, because family is important. Your wife and your children are important, but God is more important. Allah is more important. So when he said that, I was like, I can get behind that right there. You know what I mean? Because nothing else matters in that moment. You're not gonna stop me. You kill my wife, I'm gonna keep teaching the truth. You kill my son, I'm gonna keep teaching the truth. It's nothing that can stop me from doing what God has me for to do. And another thing that made me do that, he was the man to follow. Mr. Farrakhan is the type of man that when he speaks and he's doing his lecture and he tell you to watch the weather, you may need to watch the weather. You feel what I'm saying? And it was a lecture he did, even with Hurricane Katrina. He spoke about it before he told the people of New Orleans to get out of there, and the hurricane was headed in another direction. You feel what I'm saying?
Fact.
And it was another lecture he did. He said, watch the weather. The next day, man, it was so many tornadoes touched down somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And you can go look this up on YouTube or wherever you find your resources at, and it will show you. And I looked back at the scripture and I said, nobody can command the weather except God. Right. So if he tell me to watch the weather and the weather do some disastrous type things, then I need to listen to this man because he bagged by God. And that was one of the things that, locked me in. Those two things locked me in. You know what I mean? He puts nothing before God, and God bagged him. I got to ride with it. Ain't nothing else to ride with. Straight up. What else I supposed to ride with?
Fact.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
For real, bro.
Man, that's beautiful.
Those are the things that allowed me to say, this is what I need to be doing. This is the man I need to follow. Just because of his strength. Nothing comes before Allah. Nothing comes before Master Father Muhammad and the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad to Master Farrakhan. His family don't matter. His friends don't matter. The money don't matter. Like, he's a real man of God, and God back him 100%. And I heard another lecture where he said he started asking Allah for, he said the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, was telling him one day or speaking to him and told him, ask God for what you want. He'll give it to you. And he said he started asking God to destroy. And he said once he started seeing God destroy, he said he stopped doing it. He said he stopped asking for that because now he know, man, God got me, God with me. And that grew his strength, and it grew my strength. And I think it grew all the believers' strength who really follow him 100%, to the best of their ability. So that was the things for me, bro. He was, don't none come before Allah, and God back him. I got to ride with it.
Good God Almighty.
For real.
Nothing come before Allah, and God is definitely backing the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. But you mentioned a very important lecture, the What Is Your Role lecture that I recently watched, maybe about 2-3 weeks ago. I was getting the gems that the minister was giving, and he was really laying it down as always. But he talked about, he talked about the man's role and the woman's role. In your experience, how has the teachings allowed you to maneuver in the different relationships that you had with different people? How is it set the precedent for relationships? Because we see a lot of Black men not able to, communicate effectively in relationships. A lot of Black men don't know really how to be the husband or the man to their girl or to their wife or to their significant other. They really don't understand what they're supposed to be doing as the man in the relationship. So in your experience, how has the teachers help in that regard?
For me personally, it really opened my eyes to a lot because, prior to the teachings, we deal with a bunch of women. We deal with this woman, that woman. and you never really take the time out to really be her maintainer, protector, or provider, because you're dealing with so many women, you can't even focus on just one. And two, you never take the time out to study yourself, and you never take the time out to learn who you are, so you can be what you need to be for them. For me, it put me in a position where I just had to man up and do what a man's supposed to do. And excuse me, having brothers in the ranks, or believing brothers that been married 10 years, 15 years, 3-4 years, it kind of advanced me in the process. My first marriage didn't work. All praise is due to Allah, but it still was a good experience, because like when we spoke earlier, I told you, like, it taught me a lot about myself.
Right.
Not so much of what she did wrong or what she did. It was just about what was this learning experience for me. And from that, I took a lot from it and started to see that, man, to maintain a woman, just one woman, that's a job that you continuously have to work on and have to get good at. You feel what I'm saying? Because a lot of times our wife will say the oil need to be changed, but we got to go to work tomorrow. We got to drop the kids off. We got to drop the children off. We got a lot to do. So we'll put it off for, I'll do it Friday. Friday come, you say you'll do it Monday. Monday come, you say you'll do it Friday. And before you know it, the problem has got so bagged up to where when you should have been changed it, but you waited so long. So now it's a bigger problem. Now she's frustrated. Now she, emotional. Now she feel like the world about to come to an end because her oil need to be changed. As a man, we have to learn to stay focused. And this is the difference. That's why the man have the X and the Y. Right?
Come on.
That's why the man need a woman. Because once he learned how to deal with both sides, he is able to be a God. Right? So when your woman or your wife tell you, hey, the oil need to be changed, the nigga would say, I do it Friday. Right?
Right.
The God will say, let me go and handle that, because I know if I don't handle that today, I'm not going to be able to handle it the rest of the week. It's going to get backed up, and then I'm going to have a problem. Let me go and handle that, get that out the way, so she can continue to do what she do, and I can stay on my mission by getting the money and doing whatever I got to do for the nation, or whatever you got going on. And like I spoke to you earlier, bro, Jackie brought that to my attention. The little things that she asked, if you just take Cam along the way, you can stay on your mission, because she's not going to bother you.
Right.
But when you let it build up and you're not paying attention to her needs, or you're not paying attention to the dinner date, or you're not paying attention to she need her toes done, that's going to cause a problem.
Right.
So maintenance, it's just like maintenance your car. Every so many miles, you got to get an oil change. Every so often, you got to get an alignment. You got to rotate the tires. You got to change the brakes. You got to, you know what I'm saying? And in our lives, cars and mobility is very important. Well, you have to take that same mindset until your wife and your family. You feel what I'm saying? You have to maintenance them. You have to make sure they straight. And even on that video, the minister said, sometimes look in your refrigerator, make sure your wife and your children have enough food for the day.
Right.
If the toothpaste and the mouthwash low, you need to be going to get some more toothpaste and mouthwash. It's the small things that you can do to keep you functioning in your lane where you're trying to go without being bothered, if you just take the time to do the small things before they become big things. And for me, communication is key. You got to be willing to communicate with your significant other. She has to be able to come to you and say, this is bothering her, without you going off, acting all crazy, and taking consideration what she's saying, and vice versa. You feel what I'm saying? And I think when those and spirituality it plays a big part in it, because if God is the head of you and you're the head of the house and God is her head, then spirituality plays a part. And as men, like Mr. Farrakhan say, this is not our woman, this is God's woman. So we have to treat her accordingly, And I feel like once we understand those key things, marriage or relationship, whatever you got going on should be good for you.
Absolutely, man. That was a beautiful answer, my brother. And for those of us who are just joining us, welcome to the Campaign TV Show, the podcast. I'm your host, Brother King Cam. I'm here with my brother Tavion X, and he is, giving us his experience, his testimony on, why he came into the nation of Islam, and it ties into the title of or the topic for the show, which is Black youth need guidance, because we see a lot of black men, especially young black men, fall victim to the streets, fall victim to the prison industrial complex, mass incarceration, fall victim to things that we know, myself, Brother Tavion, know that can be averted if we would take the time to encourage our men to get into something that's going to be positive. And we don't take anything away from organized sports. We don't take anything away from different things like that. But when you are doing something that elevates the mind, as we mentioned earlier, you can really start to change the behavior. Because even if I am playing sports, I'm still gonna have my eye out there to the streets. You understand what I'm saying? But if I'm feeding my mind with something that's engaging me with the knowledge, as Brother Tavion mentioned, that has never been taught before, teaching me that I am a God, as the scripture says, we are children of the Most High God, then now I'm involving myself on some higher level thinking, some higher level education, some higher level knowledge that I'm intrigued by about myself. Because we spent 12 years in the public school system learning about powerful white men. We spent an inordinate amount of time learning about people who actually contributed to our current condition. So when you see the ghettos, this is the product of those men that you learned about in school. But nobody teaches you about the powerful black inventors. Nobody teaches you about the powerful black revolutionaries or the black teachers or the black avionics majors and the black mathematicians and all of the black gods, because that's what they are. Gods, men of power and force in their perspective areas. You understand? You don't get that information on a regular basis. So the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Farrakhan is so key, because this is proof. Brother Tavion is proof. I am proof of, if you take these teachings and you apply them to your life, because they make sense. Islam is mathematics. Mathematics is Islam. So it's going to make sense. But now if you apply it to your life, you can start to see the results. So we just want to welcome everybody to the show. Let you know what we're talking about. Brother Tavion taking us through his experience and his journey. And we were talking about how the teachings are effective in relationships, because we see how a lot of black men are not able to effectively deal with the black woman. Not because it's anything that she's doing, but again, it's the lack of knowledge that he had to be able to deal with both sides. So my brother Tavion, you know what I'm saying? He was taking us to class with that X and that Y and understanding how the God had to experiment and examine within himself to bring about the black woman. So go ahead, brother Tavion. I just want to
I was finna speak on this.
Get back in there.
I was finna speak on the same thing. Like, we're taught in the Nation of Islam when God created himself from nothing. And then we have to even look at that. The first God who created the universe and created everything we see, created himself from not even seeing the last result of himself. He never seen a man before.
Right.
He created himself. Right. So coming through that process, we're taught that it's a warrior process. He had to fight to make himself. He had to go through trials and tribulations to bring himself into existence. And once he did that, because of the life and the struggle that he had, he studied himself, looked within inside himself, and brought forth something from himself that can further his creation and also give him peace of mind. So we ain't spooked out. We don't believe in spookism. So just look at your own life and say, man, I've been through this. I've been through that. I've been through this. I've been through that. You study yourself, and you can bring to yourself the woman that can give you peace of mind and further your existence, bro. That's just what it is. But you have to take a real study at yourself and say, man, I'm not good in this area. I need to get better right here. I have a flaw in this area. I like dealing with a bunch of women. I got to cut them off. Like, you have to put yourself, because a lot of times, women by nature are one person women. Like they would much rather have one man who they fall in love with from high school and be with the rest of their life. You feel what I'm saying? But our actions, because we don't know them or know ourselves, we treat them improperly and we abuse them and we take them down through there and we use them to where they now have taken the same mindset of a nigga.
Right.
And say, you know what? I don't need no nigga. Yeah, that nigga can give me whatever he want. He can buy me this, buy me that. I'm gonna use that nigga on to the next. And in our teachings, in our lesson, like the most Elijah Muhammad say, you find a no good woman, it's a no good man that made her that way. So when we say that women can't be trusted or, don't fall in love with her, then we have to look at ourselves and say, what is it that we have done as men to make them turn around and give us what we have given them? You feel what I'm saying? So when you study yourself and you say, you know what? I need a woman like X, Y, and Z because I've been through this. I need a woman who will understand me. I need a woman who will console me and have compassion for me and further me and help me advance and help me be what I need to be and encourage me and speak life into me. Then once you look for that, you find it. Now when you get her, you got to do right by her. That's just, you know what I mean?
Yes,
you got
sir.
to do right by. So we have to study ourselves. If we say we the God, that the black man is God, no matter what condition he in, we have to study ourselves and bring ourselves to a point to where we can find someone who we can live the rest of our life with. You know?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And he said that there is no such thing as a no good woman. Every
Period.
no good woman was made that way by a no good man. So we,
Facts.
brothers, have to start to get ourselves up, start to get ourselves together, start to study ourselves, as Brother Tavion said, so that we can better ourselves for our family and for our communities. Now,
Yes.
I want to ask this last question,
Mhm.
and it's really dealing with the mindset of our brothers, because the Honorable Minister Farrakhan went on a speaking tour called "Stop the Killing."
Mhm.
And with that tour, he was appealing to our gang brothers. He was appealing to our brothers in the streets. And he was asking them to stop the killing because not only does it show the savagery in our community and, it perpetuate the lifestyles that you see, but also it gives the enemy the reason and justifies his killing of us because of the
Right.
continued killing that we have within and among ourselves. So,
Right.
with that being said, and you coming from the streets, how is it that you able to tap into a brother like that that's so engaged in that type of behavior? But what is it about the teachings that's able to allow a brother to change his mindset and to come out of that?
You have to speak to his nature. And we know his nature is righteousness. We know his nature is God. We know his nature is he don't want to kill his brother for real, for real. So it's like for me, when I deal with younger brothers and they bout their life because they really is about their life. So when I deal with younger brothers, what I do is try to come from a standpoint of, look, bro, the police are already killing us, right? The system already against us, right? It don't matter if you blood, crip, Nation of Islam, Christian, Baptist, whatever you claim, you got a black face, right? So instead of looking at you as my enemy, now with all the technology, I can really see who is my open enemy. It don't matter if you're a black man in America and you weren't born with a silver spoon or a gold spoon, bro, you came from the trenches. You
Right,
came from a struggle. You came from the same condition. So if all of us came from the same condition, why are we killing each other? Right?
right,
Why are we killing each other? We the same person, just from a different area. Then when you read Willie Lynch and different things like that, bro, he got us repping the hood and claiming streets, bro. We own nothing on the street. You feel what I'm saying?
yeah.
We dying by the hood that we don't even own.
Mm.
That makes no sense.
Speak on it, bro. That's crazy.
We dying by the project or a building or a street or man, we own. Cause guess what? When the police come down the street, we all the target. They don't care nothing about no beef. They don't care nothing about none of that. They go take all us to the same jail, put us all in the same cell. So why would I die about something that I really have no rights to? I don't own that.
Right.
Yeah, I grew up over here, but get what? It's somebody in another state, in another city that grew up on the same street like I grew up on. So you're not my enemy.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Why would I kill you? You know, and we all been in that life, and that in that mindset, you don't look at it like that. You feel what I'm saying? Because this your environment, so it's war. But when truth come to you, it's our nature. Truth go hit you. And when the truth kick in, man, I feel like, you know, and everything that's going on now, I feel like it's coming to that point, man, to where we are waking up. We are, you know, getting that mindset. You know, a lot of us still in that condition, but a lot of people are coming into just regular common sense, bro. Like, this is our open enemy. It don't matter if he a preacher and he don't got no suit and tie on, he dead.
Right.
Coming from this enemy. You feel what I'm saying? And once we realize we got the same enemy, and once we realize that our economics is what pull us closer together, and that they world strive off our economics. That is one of the main reasons why they decided to integrate us. Because when they kept us separated, we went to thriving and doing on our own. They was going downhill.
Right.
Hate don't even, like, they hate, but guess what? They don't hate enough to not take our money. Because if you really didn't just like me because I was black, you would have let me stay over there regardless what I spent with you, or that I wasn't a part of you. But that money and advancement in life is what allowed them to say, you know what, man, we go integrate these niggas, because get what? Our businesses are going down here.
Right.
And once we did that and started to thrive, that's when they blowed up the Black Wall Street. They burnt it down because they never wanted us to strive economically. They wanted us to be dependent upon them. We spend the most money because we are consumers.
Right.
So if we just unify and don't spend money with them, I'm gonna say this about the NBA players. I respect the mindset of the NBA players now, because now, even though they started back playing, you know, and went on with the playoffs, they made a stance. And years ago, they wouldn't have did that. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it goes back to show you that, you know, Allah is God, and, you know, times have changed, because now they have platforms to where they can say, bro, you a team owner, and you act like you like me, but you don't care about my people. We ain't riding for that.
Right. Yes, sir.
We ain't riding for that. Because you can't say you like me and don't like the next black man. You can't say you love me and don't care about the condition which I came from. Yeah, you changed my life, but guess what? If I wasn't able to, like, what's my man on First Take?
Shannon Sharp?
Yeah, like Shannon Sharp said, if I couldn't run, jump, and hit a ball far, I could be that same black person.
That's right.
You feel what I'm saying? So they're now holding them accountable that you get behind this, or ain't no playoffs. We ain't, whatever.
Mm.
And you know that's the God mindset.
That's it.
That's the God mindset. So I thank the NBA players for having that mindset. You feel what I'm saying? And you know, Mr. Farrakhan said, I can't remember the year, he said after a certain year, the slave mindset wasn't even born into us. That's why you have so many of us bucking the system, per se. We just don't have the guidance.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Now in today's society, we really don't fear white people. We don't fear the government. We don't fear white supremacy. But we have to get smarter in our tactics and move a certain way.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, that right there, bro, was definitely on time. It really spoke
to Allah.
What, you know, a lot of young people are dealing with today. A lot of black men are dealing with these different thoughts and these different circumstances today. So you really was able to shed some light on that, Brother Tavion. So, you know, we are thankful and grateful for you, and very humbled to have you on this platform tonight, just to talk about your experience and to talk about, you know, the power really in the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, as taught by the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. So, you know, family, tonight was beautiful because, you know, it was really straight raw. We really got to the meat of it and the teeth of it. And for those of us who know, some young man who could benefit from this, it is your obligation and your duty to go after that young man and to try to bring him toward the truth. So that's why the Final Call newspaper is so important, because as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, it is the number one minister. It can go in the places that you and I cannot go. So the Final Call newspaper is so important. Now we have it digitally so that you can subscribe to it and have it right there on your phone. Now we have the Final Call radio that you can listen to and hear constant truth 24 hours a day. We have platforms that people are given so that we can hear about the history of the Black man and the Nation of Islam and the positive Black organizations that's out here striving. So it's very, very important, because it's all of us play a part in raising up our men, our women in our community. So again, Brother Tavion, man, we thank you for coming on, brother. Would you like to, say anything or let the people know where they can find you and keep up with your journey? Because my brother do music now. My brother do music.
I ain't.
So, you got to make sure you stay tapped in. We with the God. So,
man,
they can find you.
I just want to say thank you again, brother, for allowing me to come on the show, man. I thank Allah, God, who appeared to us in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. I thank his exalted Christ, the most Elijah Muhammad, and I thank his divine reminder in our midst for even giving me something to say, bro. Because without them laying the foundation and walking the walk and teaching what they teach, bro, I'd be another lost nigga. And I thank Allah daily for this wisdom and this knowledge. I do music, management, different things like that. I haven't really been doing music like that for real. But my Instagram is tunnelvision_NMG. And you can find me on Facebook at NMG TX. So, I'm just out here, bro, trying to, make a difference and give back whatever Allah got for me to give back. And, again, I just thank Allah for coming, to help us get to where we need to be as a people.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Definitely.
And also, too, man, my brother is an entrepreneur. He's actually a tonsorial artist or a barber. You understand?
Yeah, definitely a barber. That's what I do every day.
Yeah. If you in Atlanta, you understand? If you on the south side, South Fulton, you can catch my brother off Old National. You understand what I'm saying? And he is a god at what he does. You understand what I'm saying? In the people business, making people feel good about themselves. So he's a barber as well, entrepreneur, businessman. So stay tapped in with him. Go ahead and book your appointment today. Make sure you get with my brother if you in the Atlanta area, family. So again, brother Tavion, we thank you for coming on, Black man.
Thank you.
And we appreciate your presence, God.
Definitely.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam, Black.
There you have it, family. There you have it. We kept it straight in the trenches tonight because, as I look at the landscape, as I look at, the different things that our Black men are going through. You got Terrell Owens that came out and talked about how afraid Black men are. You have LeBron James that talked about how afraid Black men are. Well, where is the Black man that's going to stand up unafraid? Where is the Black man who's fearless among us that's going to help lead us into a new day? See? That man is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So I wanted to bring on a brother that can give his own personal experience, because I can talk to you about it and I have my personal experience with it. But I also wanted to tap in now to other people that have been touched by the word. And as the minister talked about in the clip that I showed you, we came and was disciplined by a word. But in the word, there had power. Inside of the word, there was light, life, and power that affected our mind. Because as the most Honorable Elijah Muhammad has taught us, we are created to think rightly. So if we are created to think rightly, then the truth that you hear from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is going to begin to germinate the seed so that you can begin to change your life. If that's what you admire to do, if that's what you decide that you want to do, family. So again, man, this right here was real special. We didn't have no big names. We didn't have all of that kind of stuff because it's easy to get caught up in the glitz and glamour. But when we get right into the trenches of where our people are at, and this is one of the things that a lot of brothers say that attracted them. Brother Ben X mentioned this a lot. The reason he was attracted to the Nation of Islam is because we was not afraid to go into the gutter, go into the worst communities and talk to our people. See, you don't see a lot of organizations doing that now. They'll get out in front of the marches. They'll get out in front of courthouse and protest and do all that kind of stuff that's good for the camera. But how many people taking the camera into the worst hood in your city? How many people taking the camera down into the ghetto? How many people taking the camera down into the worst part of the neighborhood where our people are really suffering? See, now it's different now when you motivated by something bigger than a photo op. You motivated by something bigger than social media or some likes and some views and all that kind of stuff. So we're not really worried about there being any type of big names and nothing like that. We wanted to get right down to the nitty gritty and talk about how, the teachings are really affecting and changing people, family. And I thought it was extremely important because again and again, we see a lot of black men falling victim to the circumstances in the street. We see a lot of black men falling victim to the circumstances with the police. A lot of these encounters with the police that we have, and I'm not talking about publicized police murders. I'm not talking about them, but I'm talking about the regular interactions that we have with the police can be avoided with these teachings. Just the foundational principles of an FOI, you can avoid a lot of the interactions that you have with the police. You can avoid a lot of your interactions that you have with the court system and the probation officer. You can avoid a lot of that stuff if you would just take the opportunity to listen. So it's important. I want to go ahead and raise the pedestal here for the black woman, because a lot of black women deal with a lot of young boys because there are single mothers out here. Now you have to start to seek out, where can I put my son and have him surrounded in a structure to make sure that he does not end up like these other black boys that's in the street. So the Nation of Islam is key and it's pivotal because we stand in the gap between the prison industrial system. You didn't hear what I said. I said we stand in the gap of the prison industrial system. We stand in the way of police brutality. You understand? We stand in the way of the wicked government's plan and plot against black people in America. We stand in that gap. So for all of us, it's very important that we think back and say, man, listen, what young black man could benefit from this? I heard a show, the CampaignTv Show. You understand me? And it was a young black man on there that was talking and giving us some good principles that we could use to live by. I heard a word through the Final Call newspaper. I heard another brother talk about the Honorable Minister Farrakhan and how he's been changing and saving them lives. Maybe I should get this brother down there. Maybe he could benefit from this, because I'd rather have him in there with a suit on and a bow tie and a newspaper and a bean pie before I see that brother with a yellow orange jumpsuit on with a number on across his chest going into a cell. See? Going into a cop car handcuffed, going into the system, because that's where they're going. That's where we going if we don't go ahead and talk and pick up the mantle to save our own people, family. So, that's my spiel for tonight, family. I appreciate you all for watching and listening. If you found anything valuable about tonight's show, please, you can donate and show your appreciation as it scrolls across the bottom of the screen. Donate, Cash App, CampaignTv Show. You can send your donations there. Again, you can donate at Cash App, CampaignTv Show, or via PayPal at Bro King Cam. So you can send your donations there to help us keep the lights on. If you would like to see us bring more guests, have more interviews, and have more conversations like this, family, then we certainly appreciate your kind and gracious donations. Again, it's scrolling across the bottom. Cash App, $ CampaignTv Show, or PayPal if you prefer to use that. But again, we thank you all for listening. We thank you all for sharing and doing your part to help make sure that we bring as many eyes to the truth as possible. Thank you, family. I appreciate it. I am your host, Brother King Cam. Peace and blessings. And assalamu alaikum.